Today, we have a repeat offender. No, not that kind. That means Chris was here before, and he joins me again, and we cut it up. Man, I tell you, some of the things you guys think about. Before we get into all that, I want to throw a couple things your way. Live Rishi. These guys been a huge supporter of the show, and I would love for you to go over there and show them some love as well. They make high-quality CBD products. And if you have not jumped on the CBD train yet, this is a perfect opportunity. LiveRishi.com. Use the code word TABLE. Tell them I sent you. And 50% off. Yep, half off. Tinctures. You want a good night's sleep? Want a little help relaxing? Check it out. You got some sore muscles, joints. Rishi Rub with Arnica. Love that stuff. Been using it for years myself. Great company. Great product. And I know you will not be disappointed. Also, my merch store is wide open. Would love for you to jump over, check it out. WaltzKitchenTable.com, top right corner. Hit the merch button. And a lot of cool things up there, and I'm very, very proud of it. And let me know what you think. All proceeds go to Forever Healing Invisible Wounds. That's Gio, his beautiful wife, and crew. They do some amazing things for people in need. You want to hear his story, which, by the way, is a great one. That's in episode 45, No Fear, Gio is here. Check that out. They love to spread the word. Now, on to the show. Welcome to Walt's Kitchen Table, where I feature captivating stories from fascinating people. And again, Chris is back. We cut it up like we always do. Just a couple things we hit on, back in his punk years. He's super passionate about that stuff. Love to listen to him talk about it. Creating his own merchandise, records, zines, all that good things. Movies, of course. We're going to rustle some feathers with The Mandalorian and Dune. And both Chris and I have some great experiences that we share about the movie scene back in the day. And also his story about Tony Bennett. Yes, the Tony Bennett. I'll let him explain it to you. Let's get to it.
Audio is everything, because it is one of those things where you can have like the most beautiful image in the world, and if your audio sucks, it sucks you right out.
Sucks.
Like you are like the illusion is completely gone.
100%.
And voice has become such a huge part of our culture, which is funny. Like voice has always been such a huge part of our culture since radio was actually, since there was radio.
Right.
And as a society, it's funny how much voice is become such a huge part of our society and culture with phones and voice activated, everything, Alexa,
talk to text, all that stuff, right?
Exactly. And voice is like is right up there with like video as far as the importance, and like audio. And I mean, think like podcasting alone, like
it's audio.
Nobody knew what the hell a podcast was like a bunch of years ago. They're like, podcast? What the hell is this? A podcast? Like,
what would you say podcast was what? How long ago did it really get going?
So I just recently interviewed a guy, Mark Striegel, who came on my podcast, but he is like an original podcaster, and he started podcasting in 2005.
Holy shit.
When podcasts were like, what the F is a podcast? Like,
right.
And he started one of the very first, talking about metal, like talking metal music and rock called Talking Metal. And he was like a guy who got into podcasting, like, because he just wanted to start doing it. And he he still is. He's in the TV world. He was from the TV world. And he started this podcast back then when there was nothing, and
wouldn't it be
that goes back to like the early 2000s.
Now, at that time, where the hell would you listen to it?
Well,
because it wasn't on the iPhone at that point, right?
Well, he was, that's a great question, because I actually didn't ask him, but I think you were able to still listen to podcast. Well, a lot of the podcasts too would be like you would upload the audio file to a website and you would listen to it through there. I'm not sure if Apple was already starting to service podcasts or not yet at that time.
So it was mostly web-based is what you're saying.
I would think so. I would have to ask him. I actually didn't ask him about that when I had him on. Damn, that would have been what a missed opportunity. Damn. Man, I'm a shitty interviewer.
Yeah. Because like now, when I'm doing my research, I'll find people that
what happened?
Hang on a second.
Peeking.
No, I can't hear anything.
Oh, did you lose a?
I don't know. Anyway, we'll keep going. I can kind of hear it. Because like when I do research, somebody's podcast or music clips or whatever you find, right? It's right on their website. So like if you open my website up, they would have a bar going across, and it'd have a play button, and you could see all the audio files. And
Right.
I wonder if that's a leftover from that age.
Well,
Because they got so used to doing that, or somebody taught them that, and they just leave it on the website.
I mean, being involved in video, my video career started in a very, very like, I graduated college in 99 or 98, sorry, or not 97. When the hell did I graduate college? 97.
Damn, dude.
I know. I'm like,
yeah.
Jesus,
Whew.
I can't. But so I went to school, and we were still like, I was filmmaking, and I learned everything like organic. Like I shot on film. We edited on gigantic flatbeds. Like there was no computer editing.
So the whole cutting room floor, right?
Yeah,
You chop
I did
up
that.
stuff.
It wasn't until I graduated college that then I learned how to edit on a computer, and you digitized your footage and all that. And that time, that's when, for me, that's when I would see the audio be digitized and the wave files and all that.
Yeah,
Now, being in a band for years prior to that, when we would record in the studio, we would record digitally, and you would, the engineer would be in there in GarageBand or whatever it was called. I guess it was still called GarageBand, and I'm not even sure. But we would, we would record, and you would go into the studio, and you see him like making the edits, and you see the waveform and all. And that was in the '90s. That was mid '90s. That was kind of like, wow, this is like really cool. You can
It's
do
cool
this
to
now.
see it,
yeah,
right?
and you could see it, and you could do it, and like so as a band, you'd like play and like right away, you're like, okay, here, you play it back on a computer, and you're like, wait, that's the song right there, like
it's not the tape going.
yeah, and
where they rewind
because
it.
the first time we recorded as a band, that was like in
no shit.
'93.
Dude, I
or
graduated
94.
high school in '93.
Yeah, and we recorded, and it was tape to tape. Like we recorded on a reel. And then I think my second recording experience was also the same thing. We recorded a tape. Then, and that was like my punk band and hardcore band. Then when later on, then we'd go back in the studio, and that's when it was like, we're recording on digital, and it was, you could see it like, they play it back instantly, and it's on the screen, and you see the waveform monitors, and you can make the edits right away and do like the punch-ins. It's like, holy crap, this is amazing.
You could do that? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I never saw that before.
Yeah,
where you're used to reel, right?
Yeah, I was blown away by it. I was like, this is great, and like even for my like crappy ass punk band, like it was like, wow, this is cool.
Was that the studio time at like 3 a.m. because it was cheap?
Oh, we would book like cheap studio time. It was like if they've got time open, and it was like, well, what time is it? You guys can get here at 8 o'clock at night. Okay, fine, we'll take that because it was like cheaper. It's like and then you'd like work till like 12 or 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
Yep,
and then like, or they would be
awesome.
like, all right, you know what? Here you would get deals too. Like studios would be like, listen, you get a 5-hour deal or a 6-hour deal. It's an all-in package, like, but you got to be in and out of here in 6 hours. Like, so you would say, all right, cool, I'll take that. And you would be like, let's go in, let's try to get as many songs done as we could, even if they suck. Let's just
get them on tape.
Let's just get them on tape.
Because back then it was on tape, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would make demos in my like before gigs and stuff. Like I would literally my high speed cassette dubber. You got to hit record and play at the same time. Yeah, so I'd have my master cassette tape, which was the recording, and I would just keep putting in cassettes and making high-speed dubs of like whatever it is, our 4-song cassette demo or whatever. And then we would go to a show and sell them for like $1 or $2 or give most of them away.
I was just going to say, give them away.
Yeah, I used to order like bulk cassette tapes from like disc makers, and you'd get like a whole crate of like 2 minute worth of tape or like 4 minute worth of tape, so you can get that, so that way you weren't like ordering like 60 minutes and
putting 5 minutes on it, and then it's just a waste.
Exactly. So you could order cassettes that were like 2 minute, 4 minute.
I never knew you could do that back in the day.
Yeah, and it would be like the clear case ones, and you would just I would take like a marker and like write on them like the band name or something, and you put stickers on stuff, and a lot of visits to the copy machine at the local print shop with like, we have to make a cover. So we'd make a cassette cover, and
We have to cut it all out.
We'd
and
cut
fit
it all out.
in
You know, we'd literally have cassette making parties where we'd have like an assembly line of like, here's the box of tapes that I made during the week, because every time I came home from work, it'd be high speed
Bust
dub
out a
tapes.
few of 'em.
So here are the tapes, and now we're all gonna get together and we're gonna make covers. You know, you're like, okay, you cut and then you stuff. Like, you know, you cut them out and then you put them in and then you put the cassette. So it would go right down the assembly line.
Oh, that is so cool, dude.
But that was it, man. That was DIY. You know, getting your music out there, and then when you were able to like, you know, you were able to get money, and then you were like, wow, we're going to put out a 7-inch record. So like in the punk and hardcore scene, like that's what you did. You either had cassette demos, and then you graduated from cassette demos and put out like 7-inch, like 45 records. Like, and this is going back like the 90s. Okay.
Now was a 7-inch record specifically, that was kind of a punk thing? You didn't put out a full...
Yeah, I mean,
LP?
I mean, you did, but a lot of times you did 7 inches because nobody like really wrote full records, like at least right away.
Okay.
Usually by the time you got to the full record, it was like you're redoing a lot of the songs you released as like EPs or whatever. And then, so you would like maybe a new version of that song and then some like new originals, and that would be like your full length. But like you would do
Greatest
like these,
hits.
Yeah, you would do like these 1, 2, or like these 2 to like 4 song, or sometimes depending on how long, you know, how fast your songs are, you maybe get 5 or 6 songs on like 145 7-inch record. But the reason why I already did them, because it was cheaper than getting CDs pressed. So, and it was cooler because you had like cool cover art and you're able to get like really like experimental and like just art. You know,
so now
artistic.
was that a company? Like say you had
record pressing company?
Yeah. So you would send your songs on a tape?
You'd send a master recording to the record plant, the recording the record plant, the presser. Right. And then they would make a like a master of your, and you would listen, and they would send you test copies, and you'd listen to the test prints and make sure it's similar to like print, like how you would get a proof.
Right.
So you would do that. You do that with
sign
music.
Off on it.
So you sign off and go, yeah, these test prints are good. Go ahead, make the print. And they would, you know, you would order like 300 records, 500 records, 1,000 records, and they would come and you could have the label on them, and that would all be done for you. And then you would then put them in covers, or you could have the record cut. You could have the pressing plant do it. But most of the times, what everybody did was what I was talking about, making Xerox copies. So you'd get the records.
I was just going to say, how's the art good put it?
Right. So then you would create the art, and then just make like, you'd go to like whatever Kinko's,
fucking glue it on,
and yeah, and in some cases too, you would glue them on, or just do like where it would just be like 2 pieces of paper and you fold it, and but it would be cut the size, and you throw the record in there. Like I have hundreds of records I could show you of, like in the next room here, where it's all that what I'm talking about.
No shit.
Yeah, tons. I have bins and bins of like 45s.
From those are yours?
Yeah, they're all mine. Stuff that I bought. I used to sell records at shows. I used to go to shows. So. Little.
Here we go. I love this look. You guys can't see this look, but I love this look.
Little punk. Let me open this up. Let me crack this open. So, little punk hardcore history for you all about me. So, back in like 93, 94, 95, like from like I'd say from like 93 to like 2000, I was like really heavily involved in the New York, or mostly the New Jersey, New York, like punk scene, hardcore punk scene. So I used to put and then like my band never reached like the stratosphere of some of the bands, or like some of the bands around here like reached like legendary status. And
like name a couple.
Like I mean,
somebody would.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So it depends who's listening to this, and they would know about like bands like Lifetime, and even a little bit later, like bands like Thursday, and so even later into like My Chemical Romance, like those bands all kind of came out of like the scene here.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
From that early on, I used to be in bands. I was in punk and hardcore bands, but I used to put shows on. So I would like rent Legion halls or Knights of Columbus halls.
Like a promoter.
Yeah, and I would put a show on. So I'd book like 4 or 5 bands that were like local bands, or like a band coming through on tour, because it was like this elaborate network throughout the United States, where like you would put yourself in this book called Book Your Own Fucking Life, and it was a manual. It was a book that was printed by Max and Rock and Roll, and it was a state by state directory of kid promoters. So if your name was in there and a band wanted to tour or come to like New York, New Jersey, like they could go through that and go, oh, let me call this, and maybe there's a gig for me. So you would make sure you put your name out there so you could put shows on.
All right, so they would look in this. If I'm a punk rock band doing the quote, the tour.
Yeah.
And I was coming through this area, I'd look and say, "Oh, there's Chris. I'm going to get a hold of Chris. Hey, I'm coming through in the middle of September.
Right. You got
What do
anything?
got?"
Yeah, you got anything? Or then be like, oh, cool. You know what? I actually don't have a show put together, but if you're going to come through, I'll put a show together based around.
I was just going to say that was my next thing.
Yeah.
Like if they'd say, "Hey, on September 12th, I'm coming through." You ain't got nothing going on that day,
Right.
but you're like, "Fuck it, man! I'll get this little hall, put these guys as headliner."
Yeah, I'll put a
because
show
there was
on.
plenty of little local guys that would fill the space, right?
Yeah, I mean,
beforehand.
it was a scene, so it was like it was just something to do. Like you hung out, you listen to music. We usually charged like $5, and sometimes it was like so. It would be like the move was it's $6, but a $5 you get a $5 with a donation of food. So you would actually do like food collections, or like sometimes we would do like coat and blanket drives too. So it'd be like $6 admission or $5 with a coat. Sure. So we would do things like that too. And then there'd be like 4 or 5 bands play, and
everybody just hang out, listen.
And that's it. You hang out, you listen to music, and people would buy each other's music. So that was the other thing is like other people then it was almost like a flea market. Like people would come and set up all tables, and they would do distros, like distributions, and it would be selling music, selling other bands' music from all over the place. So I started doing that too. I started selling music. And I would start going to like, not only was I booking shows and playing in bands, but then I would just go on the weekends
just to hang out
and sell records. And I would just sell records. And I had like a little distribution thing going on.
Like a networking event where you got a table and you got all your records out there.
Right. And I would sell records. And people would come to like my parents' house and knock on the door and buy records from me. I had like a mail order thing going on. Like I would make a little catalog. I had a little catalog. I used to call my distribution Y Distro, like WHY. My friend Tony made like an awesome like logo and everything. And I used to sell, and that's what I did. I sold records at shows. I had a mail, and I would put the catalog out there, and I would say, I'd advertise in like zines. I'd put an ad in a zine and say, hey,
what zines? What zines?
So it's zine. It's short for magazine, but it's like a zine is like an underground like self-published magazine, and there would be tons and tons of these zines where it would interview the bands that were playing. And you could put ads in there. There'd be record reviews and show reviews, and people would write like, thought pieces. And some were like very, you'd have like ones that were like ultra political. Then you had like your militant vegan zines, and you had your straight edge zines, and you had the zines that just like covered like just hardcore bands, and you had ones that were like a mix of punk and hardcore. Like I'm telling you, it was like
what a scene, dude. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Right. It was an elaborate system, and like people make fun, but like we had. Like, and it's still out there today. It just isn't like as, I guess and it goes through generations. I mean, I wasn't, I was like involved in like the fortune. I mean, this stuff goes all the way back into the 70s, man. Like this isn't like anything new. It's always new. Every generation adopts their own version of it is what happens. I was going to say,
it's probably a lot more digital now, but.
Right. Because none of that stuff existed when when I was in a band, like, having like
an iPhone,
even when MySpace came out, I was like, whoa, because MySpace was so much about music, and like bands were all over that. I'm like, I always said, man, I wish I was still in a band. Like right when MySpace came out was right kind of at the end when I was like, we had a band page, but like it was getting near the end where like I wasn't like being involved in music, and that was like when I was like, okay, I'm gonna start like my video production. I was like getting to the point of like,
I don't want to categorize it, but not grow up, but
a little bit,
life,
like
man.
Life I'm married, we have our daughter on the way. I'm like working, and it's like, okay, am I gonna be doing music, or am I gonna like now like really start a business? And so I
Keep
was
the
like,
refrigerator full at this point.
Yeah, I got to make a choice here. So I chose to start a video production company and do that whole thing. But before that, man, I was like, that's all I did was like music and playing bands and like put shows on.
You've been hustling forever then.
I know. And like, that's the thing. When I look at it, I'm like, man, I've been like in this game for a while, but like, I never realized until I really started my business, like my first like legit business, I didn't realize how all that stuff I did in the punk and hard, like how much of all that stuff was the foundation for like what I'm even doing now, like, and how that carried over. Like I still look at all those things and all those principles and all those the DIY like work ethic and doing things yourself and not giving a fuck and having an attitude it's all positive stuff though. It's not like it's like just believing in yourself and saying I'm gonna be myself and I'm gonna put this version of myself out there.
And no matter what anybody says, this is what I'm doing.
Right, this is what I'm doing. And
yeah.
And I'm not going to wait around for other people to do, like, you got to make it happen. And all that stuff, like, making tapes and, but because no one else, who's going to put my tape out? Like, if I want my music heard.
Well, they would have put it out, but it'll cost you a bunch of money. And then you got to go have a job to pay for that, but might as well do it yourself. Right.
Like, who's going to, like, exactly. Like, if I'm playing a gig and I want people to walk away with me, like, there's no Spotify, like, this is a world where this stuff doesn't exist. Like in the night, like there's no Spotify, there's no Apple Music, there's no Amazon Music, man. No. If you want to listen to something, you're listening to it in your car, like
or at your house,
right? And you want somebody to take music away after they see you if they dig you, and it's like, okay, well then I'm gonna have to sit here and make tapes all weekend. Like, I gotta I'm gonna make my own T-shirts because I want people to wear my shirt. Like,
damn, you made your own T-shirts too? Mm-hmm. Like tie-dye or like how the hell did you make your own
we would
T-shirt?
Like make a so before, once again, when you don't have any money, you get super creative. So we used to do we would make a design. So sometimes we would do our own silk screen. So we learned how to do silk screen and do and I never actually learned how to do silk screen, but we always had someone in a band who knew how to silk screen. So they would do
this. Doesn't that take a machine?
No, you do it by hand. You create the silk screen and then put the ink in and then, do it by hand.
Holy Christ, dude.
Yeah, you do it by hand. So you would just make shirts and keep doing them by hand. Or we would go to we would go to Michael's or whatever art store and we would buy those the transparents, where the iron-ons.
Yeah.
And we would buy a bunch of T-shirts and iron on, and then we would print them out and cut them out and do the iron-ons and make shirts like that. And
okay, so the iron-on thing was like a square blank, and then you would cut out a design and then color it and then iron it on? Or the iron-on would be a color? Yeah,
the iron-on would be a color or something. Okay. So we would create a graphic and then we would iron it on.
Damn, dude. Yeah.
And then we would make a bunch of shirts. And we'd be sitting there with the ironing board, ironing shirts and making shirts like crazy for the gig.
Man, I just had a flash come. You're a music guy, so you're going to totally understand this. I just had a flash of the Aerosmith music video. And I can't remember the song, but at the end, there's this big old heavy woman in a house dress, and she's ironing, and she's smoking, and there's kids running around, but then she's got the phone, but she's a sex talk worker. She's
right, that's right.
God, what the hell song was that?
I'm trying to remember the song. I know the video, and I can see the video in my head. I can't think of it.
Yeah, when you did the iron in motion, I was like, oh my God! For some reason, that just flashed to my head.
But that was pretty similar. To be you're sitting there ironing shirts, you're talking to people, you're like, flip that tape over. We got to keep the tapes going. You'd be making shirts and making cassettes in the other room, and
that's so cool, dude.
And then and they're like, okay, great, now let's practice. And
did you ever make any decent money, or it just kind of covered your cost, or you lose it?
We never even really covered costs. I mean, you just lost money. I mean, we would travel to other states to go play shows to get paid $15. You'd be lucky if you got enough money to even
put gas in
the car. But you just did it because it was you wanted.
What you're doing,
you
man.
wanted to play.
That's
awesome. You wanted to play music, and it was fun. And when you hoped that you would get better gigs, and we played fun shows. We played with some really awesome bands. I mean, we played with Jimmy Eat World when they were nobody gave a shit. And, we played with a lot of bands like that. And we had a ton of fun. I mean, it was great. Those are great times. Hanging out with those guys, being in a van, playing shows, doing all that stuff. That's memories that
well, the other thing too is
you just don't get those back. Those are just awesome stories and
memories. Well, and it took you places that you would have never went. Right? You 100%. Went there. You went there to play for 15 minutes. You got a 15-minute set at 11 o'clock. You're supposed to go on, but it runs till 11:35, and then they rush you on. You're there for 15 minutes, and you got the rest of the night. But you're doing shit that you would have never went there if it wasn't for that. So you sit, experience things, kind of like your video company, right?
Yeah,
same
exactly.
thing. This project, it's just kind of cool that it takes you places.
It does. It takes you lots of places, and you meet people, and sometimes it's you meet those people for that night, and then
that's it.
You kind of never see them again, but it's cool in a way. It's you get exposed to so many things, like you said, that you would never just do ordinarily. You wouldn't think to go there.
Yeah, if your wife and you were sitting on the couch, you wouldn't be like, hey, there's this little dive bar in the middle of Texas. Let's go there for the night. You're never going to do that.
No, that would never happen. But
But I got a show.
Yeah, you got a show. You go play the gig. It's fun. You meet some people. You have a good time. And then that's it. It's
who's the biggest or when I say coolest, big star you've ever met, like the coolest experience?
Well, so playing music, playing music, I met a lot of cool people, but nobody like a huge star playing music wise. But being on the video side of things, definitely had a lot of brushes with people. So I would say the coolest person I ever met while doing video was definitely Tony Bennett. Like Tony Bennett was
shit, Jesus.
like Tony Bennett. Like,
the
Tony Bennett. He was like the nicest, classiest guy. It was like so we had a project where we had to go film him. We had to interview him for a new record that was one of his new records coming out. Because we used to do these things, EPKs, electronic press kits.
Yeah.
So we used to do a lot of work with Sony and all that. And we had to go to his apartment, which was, I think, over by like Central Park somewhere. It was just gorgeous and it overlooked the park. It was beautiful. Yeah. So we get in there, we get there, we going down the hallway, and it's like we have all this gear, but we're being really, really discreet and super. We knock on a door, and like he answers the door. He's like, "Hey, fellas, how you doing?" Like we're like, "Whoa!" Like,
holy shit, this is Tony Bennett.
And he's being like he's being like your grandfather, man. Just super nice, classy, hospitable. Like, oh, can I get you guys anything? Can I get you guys any water and anything to drink? Like,
so cool,
and
so
like,
cool.
we were like, can we sit up here, Mr. Bennett? He's like, oh, call me Tony, and like, and and we did the interview, and he was just the nicest guy. And then we're doing, we're shooting B-roll with him, and he's like, oh, let me show you guys my paintings, and he's showing us his paintings and showing us, oh, I did this thing, and he's just sitting by the piano. He's just like, it was almost like we could have just hung out with him all day. It was almost like he didn't even want us to leave, like when we were like ready to go. Like he just was such a nice, a kind soul, a true gentleman. But like that's that generation, and sometimes you hear these stories about some of those guys from back then, like like Buddy Rich was like a maniac. You hear him like yelling at guys and flipping out, and like you just don't know what you're ever gonna run into. Like what's the actual, like the persona, but like what's the guy, what's the person like?
100%.
But he was 1,000% like. He was the definition of class act, man, and he was
awesome.
Just the
that's
nicest
some old
guy.
school going on.
Yeah,
there, huh?
super old school, and
yeah.
it's like stuff that's just kind of lost, I think, on a lot of people now. But so that he was, I mean, and we've met a lot of people, but like he just stands out because that experience was like, it was just so nice. Sting was another cool dude, like, and we
is he cool to hang out with?
He was, well, it was all very business. But he was really nice to us, and he was like, when he came in the room, and we were interviewing him at one of the studios. He came. It was another electronic press kit because he had done. It was for Chris Bodie, and he had and Chris Bodie is like his trumpet or saxophone,
I think.
And he would and he like sang on one of the songs on a record. So we came in and we did the interview and all that, and then we were shooting B-roll of him like actually singing. Like so, we're in like as close as I am to you. I was like right there with a camera, and I'm filming Sting, and then Mark's on the other side too, and he's filming Sting, and he's singing and he's just singing back to the track, but he's actually singing. Woo! And we're just sitting there like, and I know all these situations too, like you're absolute professional, like there's no like that doesn't happen, course, like you have to be, otherwise you're never working again, like, and but like the first time he came into the room. He made some jokes where, you always wear black at these because it's like, it actually serves a purpose. Like you don't want light bouncing off you and all that stuff. So
I got a fucked up story about wearing black, but go ahead. No, go ahead.
But he came in, he made some joke about us all. He's like, oh, this is the Men in Black. He made some funny, but he actually shook all our hands. And then, then we did, he's like, oh, and we did the B-roll. And then he's like, hey guys, I got to go. And this was like all in the span of like 30 minutes. And he was like, hey, I want to thank all you guys for your time. He's thanked us for our time. And like, and I was like, man, that was just super. So it was a really cool experience with a guy who's like on that level, but he was like as chill as,
the way he treated you, just
very professional. Very,
I like to hear shit like that.
Very respectful, and like not like, oh, I'm Sting and you guys are just some like
film crew. Get out of here, dude.
Yeah,
whatever.
like, but like none of that. Like,
awesome.
So that was really neat. So we've had a lot of cool experiences with people. I mean, we've definitely had some of those moments, which I don't want to, I'm not going to throw people under the bus.
No,
it just happens, and you never know. Some people just have bad days, and sometimes you're just in the path. And
well, then you hear people are like, they run into some star, right? Name X star. Don't fucking matter who we're talking about, right? And they're like, I saw him or her once and he was just a jerk. And I'm like, well, maybe he's having a bad day. Doesn't mean he's an asshole.
Yeah, Yeah,
maybe you just caught him at the wrong moment. That's all.
You know, I think
Jesus,
about the
he's
times,
human.
I know. You think about the times people catch me in a bad, like, and I'm
that's
like,
true, yeah.
they're like, Jesus, Chris is like normally a nice guy, but he's a total
fucking dick,
jerk.
dude.
Like, what the hell? And it's like,
Yeah,
you know. But I mean, yeah, he's a human being, and you know, and when you're on that level, it's even magnified because it's like people don't leave you alone.
No,
Like,
yeah. Speaking of that, did you see the Michael Jordan thing?
I have not watched the Michael Jordan thing yet. That's
right.
the one thing. It's been on my list forever to watch, and I just
All right,
haven't sat down and watched it.
we'll skip over it because I don't want to ruin it for you.
I've
You
heard
need to watch
so many
it.
stories, and all my friends have watched
Holy
it, and
shit,
I just
dude.
haven't gotten to sit
Talk
down
about
and
a
watch
class act, though.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. But All in Black, I got a fucked up story, dude.
All right, I want to hear the story.
My time at the video company,
Yeah.
right? So I was the business guy, and then I would always help, right? So I knew how to film and do all that. So one time, I'm sitting at my desk, phone rings, lady says, "Hey, you were recommended. I'm having this party for my daughter. I need you guys to film it." You know, I'm looking at our schedule, we're solidly booked. And my wife now, she's my girlfriend at the time, was at visiting her family. So I was like, oh shit, man. In my head, I'm rolling around in my head going, well, I'm going to throw out some ridiculous price. And if she pays for it, I'll go do it. Because I ain't got nothing else to do, you know? So she's like, this is where it needs, you know, going to be in New York City at the, what's the big fancy hotel?
Well, there's tons of them.
I know. God, I had it in my head. But there's a room that's all pink in the basement because there's
Trying to think of
in the past, there was a young girl that kind of lived there. Her parents were super rich, and she lived there, and they let her have the run of it. Oh, I'll think of it. But,
I'm blanking out, but I know the room you're talking about. I just can't remember the name of the hotel.
I
It's
can't.
totally escaping
Damn it,
me.
dude! When we were talking,
I'm gonna have to like Google it now.
Oh yeah, there you go. And
While you're talking, I'll Google it.
so I said, well, to do this and that and this and that, it's this much money. She's like, that's great. Do you take cash?
Oh my god!
And I was like, fuck, because I didn't want to do it, you know? I was like, guess I'm going. And my mistake, I never asked her the attire.
Right.
Because usually you're just all in black.
Yeah, you're all
right?
in black, and that's
solid black, right?
It.
So I show up to this fucking gig, dude. I'm all in black, and she's like, it's down here in the basement. And, you know, not in the, you know, I say the basement, not like it's a dungeon or something.
The Plaza Hotel, the LOE suite.
Yep, down. So, yeah. It's, there's like downstairs, it's crazy. Everything, dude, when I say everything is pink.
Is that it? The
That's
LOE
it.
Plaza?
Right? So the party's in there. Now my big lug ass is all in black in that fucking room.
Oh, man.
And I'm like walking, I'm just like trying to be discreet. But,
but
you know, I'm not the smallest guy in the world.
Right. And
I'm all
it's like
black.
everything's pink and you're dressed all in black.
Yep.
Like,
And then I caught myself in the mirror and I'm like, God damn, this is not good.
sticking right out.
Holy shit. But I walked her up. She's like, thanks for coming out. Handed me a wad of cash, even before I even started. I was like, God damn.
What did you do? You filmed that?
The film, there was her daughter's birthday party.
Nice. How'd it come out?
I don't know. I never saw the film. But I tell you what, our editor called me. He's like, dude, what the fuck were you doing there? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I was filming it. He's like, you didn't belong there. And I'm like, I know. But they hired us and she was happy. I mean,
She was happy.
That's all okay.
That's all that matters.
But being just a sore thumb, just stuck way out of place.
Hilarious.
Oh my God.
Hilarious.
And then another thing I thought of was,
I'm just thinking of like this big room and like just is black dot like moving around.
oh my God, dude. And it was a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah.
So I was just fucking.
I'm just like that image is like it's ingrained in me right now.
Yeah, I'm 6'1", like 250 pounds, dude, and it's just
You don't blend in.
No, I did not blend in. Music, you like country music?
I'm not a huge country music fan.
You know a little bit about it?
But I know a little bit about it. Yeah.
Eric Church?
Yes, I know who Eric Church is. Yes.
Okay, so back when I was in Colorado, I'm still a huge fan of his. I like his older music a little better than his newer stuff, but here he's coming through town and he's going to do this little intimate club thing. I was like, I'm fucking, dude.
Of course,
Somebody,
yeah. I mean, when little club things are like the best.
yeah, somebody's turning a chip in. I'm collecting a chip on this deal,
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
So I make some phone calls, and that's just how things work. I end up there.
That's how things work.
It was so fucking cool, dude. It was so intimate and all this, that, and the other. And then the guy comes over. The guy running the club goes, and it was over. So he's out shaking hands. I got pictures of him and stuff. No big deal. He's like, "Hey man, follow me." I was like, "All right." Guy that owned the club.
Yeah.
We go in the back room, and there's a tub with a keg in it, and there's like 8-10 chairs, like we're sitting in, like folding chairs around it. He's like, "Hey man, sit down. Just trust me." I was like, "All right." So I sit down, and some other people come in, and of course I know everybody that's coming in. Small world in that type of those type of circles.
Right.
So Eric Church and his guitar player come in, and they sit down, and he goes, and we're we're pumping the keg away. He goes, just so you know, he plays a song and he's talking, and he goes, just so you know, we're not leaving till the keg floats. And I'm like, oh damn, I do some country boy math in this. There's 10 of us. There's a keg.
You're like,
fuck, right? So we're all just hammering drinks, and he would play a song,
right?
Then talk for quite a while, talk about the song. It was, dude, it was.
Dude, that's like a once in a lifetime. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That
was so cool.
Oh my god! And then the keg floats.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, whew, I'm fucking.
Yeah.
I can't even stand. Right. Yeah. So he motions to the guy, brings over 2 cases of Bud bottles, in a fucking big, not a handle. What's the next size down? Whatever it is, a jack. Right. He's sitting there. He's a big guy, man. Do you know he's fucking tall, dude?
Is he?
Yeah, he's super tall.
Oh wow, okay.
And
so he can put it away.
Yeah, and his hands are, and he's sitting there with his guitar, and he reaches and he grabs a bottle, and with one hand he's got the neck, and with his thumb he spins it, and the cat fucking flies. He's like, I guess we don't put the bottle down, and that bottle went around and around and around until it was gone. Dude, my ex-wife. I was married at the time. My ex-wife shows me the text messages I sent her to come pick me up.
Dude, that must have been.
No, it looked like a second grader did it.
That sounds like a 2 or 3 a.m. right there.
Oh what? I can't even remember.
That's probably like a 3 a.m. Like sun's like a couple hours away from coming up.
Yeah. It's like back in the day when you come out of the peeler bar and the sun's up.
You're like, oh my god, it was nighttime when I went in here. Like, what the hell? Damn, where's my sunglasses?
Oh, come on, you can't say you never done that. Well, probably with clubs and stuff. Right?
I mean, I've definitely pulled all-nighters before, for sure. I mean, I've done stuff where I've just like, I've had to work, and I will literally like drive right to work, sleep in the parking lot, and get up an hour later and go into work.
Yeah,
like,
I've done that.
I try to oh shit, I'm going to try to get in there before anybody comes in. I'll use the bathroom and kind of clean up real quick, and like not look like so much of a disaster, but your eyes are all bloodshot, and it's like I spent quite a few nights in my car in the parking lot of like wherever I was working,
and that was before like Monsters and stuff. So you weren't even living on those. Later in my career, I was living on Monsters.
Oh, and those in those little like I used to take those yellow jacket, like the little like
like the truckers used to use.
Yeah, I used to take those. Like you'd be like, all right, well, let's go.
I can't afford Coke, so I'm gonna take the yellow jacket from the convenience store.
Basically, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Holy man, dude! I remember. Do you know Carl's Jr., the fast food joint?
Yes, yeah.
I guess Hardee's is more what people think of.
Yeah,
but it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
So, working the bars forever, literally, I would drive by a Carl's Jr. going home. Yeah. And the drive-through was open 24 hours a day.
Right.
Hands down, dude.
It's like, boom, you're hitting that.
Yeah.
And destroying Carl's Jr.
Man. You get in the car the next day and you're like, what the fuck happened in here?
It's like a murder scene in here. Like, what is going on? There's like
holy
bags
shit.
Of fries and grease everywhere. And that stink of like
the old oil of fries and shit.
It's exactly
you gag a little bit.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what is wrong with me? Like,
fatties, dude. You ever...
Oh yeah, well, fatty
down in the one in Morristown.
Yeah, and there's the Ruckers, the food truck that are fatties.
It's the same though,
yeah,
right?
It's like because
he just
that's
branched
the original.
out.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he actually opened. I used to just and still just the food truck down there. I mean, you get the fat sandwich with the whole.
Oh, Jesus, you got chicken fingers, fries,
Oh my God.
mozzarella sticks, and all that in a sandwich.
Yeah, and you play, and it was a lot, and that going back into the day, I mean, we used to play tons of gigs down in New Brunswick all the time. It was always house shows and like clubs, and like the Melody Bar down there was like the greatest place on the earth to play. And you'd always like stop and get like, because it was like right there, Fatties.
Yeah.
I mean,
In Morristown, we'd close Morristown down, and I lived right, where the empanada places and
yep, yes.
God, not Paul's.
No, it's
Anyway, right there by the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, right there.
I lived directly above that.
Did you really?
My bedroom was above the kitchen.
Oh my God,
Dude, when I moved, I had a dual fan in the window. And when I moved, I pulled the fan out of the window because there's a screen on it.
Of course.
Right? It like ripped off the screen because all the fucking grease in it.
just like fused, became one.
Oh, boy. But
my God.
he runs a nice shop, though. Good food and all that.
Yeah.
But, so we'd hit, I'd hit all downtown Morristown, hit Fatties, and then, just devour it standing in over my sink. And I'm all fucked up, right?
Right.
And you get up in the morning and you see the carcass of that. And
It's
you're
like what the hell is wrong with me? Why am I doing this to my body? But God, it tasted so good.
So good.
You
good.
always pay the price later on, but it's so good in the moment.
So speaking of that kind of food, what's your opinion of a roller grill?
A roller grill?
Yeah. Like 7-Eleven, the hot dogs and the pizzas and
so
I love this question.
Yeah. So now it's the thought of it's disgusting, but the 20
punk years, you'd been all over it, dude.
Hell yeah. We used to kill that stuff all the time.
Yeah,
especially when you're coming home from a gig and there's no diners in sight and you're just like,
okay, dude.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta get something in this gullet. So
dude, and that hot dog's been on the grill, rolling around. Dude, it's not even rolling anymore. The rollers are going, but the hot dogs.
It's like that is. It's like it's last resort. It's last resort food, and like I'm gonna pay the price for this.
100%.
It's coming. And you can even like time your body saying like, okay, if I eat this now, I'll be home in time, or we'll have to pull over somewhere. Like,
yeah.
But like, so now forget it. I mean, I
not even in a pinch.
Not even in a pinch. Like now I'm like, there's no way I'm touching that ever again. Like, because now I feel like the damage, like back in the day, now the damage is like, I feel like it's irreparable. Like it's like not coming back.
Yeah.
I
could recover from it back in the day, but now
do it anymore. There's no way. I look at it, doesn't even like, I look at it, it's such like it just turns me off now.
And the smell, dude.
Oh, the smell's great. It's disgusting.
But I do want to tell you about.
But if it's at a carnival, it seems to be okay. I don't know.
Wow, I never thought of that. I guess it is, right? You'll have a hot dog from a carnival or from a fucking street meat, dude.
Right, street meat, yeah.
But you won't get it from a roll. You'll get it from that 5-gallon bucket of water that's in the dude's cart. That water's probably been there for a week.
Yeah, it's something about the minerals in that water. although I will say it's been quite. I mean.
I haven't had a hot water dog. I can't even tell you the last time I had a hot water dog.
I have almost no memory of like the last time I even had one. So it's been that long.
Even a hot dog from any cart, I can't even.
No, I mean it's like any hot dogs I've had have been like ones that I've made because I know exactly what.
Wasn't too long ago. I had to get a couple off the roller grill because I was desperate.
Last resort.
Last resort.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Sometimes you just got to go in.
But the thing is, like, all right, I'm going to be home in an hour, so I'll be all right.
I'll be all right. I can make it back in time.
Home field advantage, dude. There's something about that.
Home field advantage. Your surroundings.
You just know, dude. It's comfortable, man.
It's exactly it.
Now through the
home field advantage. I love that home field advantage. I'm gonna use that.
Now through the pandemic, I'm on the road all the time.
Yeah.
Now I'm in Jersey City and Newark. Now to find a bathroom in Jersey City or Newark ain't gonna happen.
It's impossible.
And I got a 20-foot work truck. So one, to try to find somewhere to park that fucking thing to run into the bathroom, right? But a little life hack, Lowe's and Home Depot. They're clean, they're nice. So just saying, dude.
That's a good life hack, man.
If you can't do home field advantage, find a Lowe's or a Home Depot.
Right.
Hands down.
But it has to be open, obviously, during those times because they usually
They were
close
out-
by
no.
like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah.
Well, if
yeah.
you're late night.
Late night. Oh, God, fuck, dude. Late night.
Late night is like find a fast food restaurant.
That's
or,
always a given. Like a McDonald's is always a
and
given.
a diner,
Yeah, that's
Diner's a
kind of
crapshoot.
Yeah,
Because sometimes they won't let you just run in like and use the bathroom. Like there's a whole gate.
No, you got to.
You have a better shot doing it at a fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
Or behind the fast food restaurant.
Yeah. Oh God, fuck, dude. So I'm. this is completely disgusting. But I'm gonna tell you. So I take my lunch with me. Mm-hmm. I prep my lunch, meal prep. I take it because there's just nothing good.
Right.
And again, trying to park that truck somewhere.
It's
right?
tough. It's hard.
So I'm parked in a parking lot in Newark, and it's the front of my truck is up against the fence, bumped against curb fence, and I'm eating, and I have my computer on the steering wheel. I have a way to prop my computer up, so I'm doing my work. And out of the fucking corner of my eye on the left, I see some movement, and I look, and I love chicken. Chicken, my wife's like, you're going to turn it into a chicken. I eat like 5-6 pounds of chicken a week, dude.
Wow. That's a lot of chicken, dude.
Oh, I love it, dude.
I mean, I like chicken a lot too, but that's a lot of freaking chicken.
About a pound a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I got this piece of chicken in my mouth, and I look over. Sure enough, dude, this dude's squatting and taking a dump.
Oh, no.
And his ass is facing me.
Ah, come on.
And I was just like, fuck. God damn it. And I just turned away, and I was like, don't look, dude. Don't look. Because, like a car wreck, you're like,
of course
no,
you're like, don't look.
Well,
I can see it.
God. Dude, crazy. I was just like, fuck, damn it. But going back to the life hack, though, with Home Depot, you have to remember if it's an emergency,
right?
You got to keep in mind that the restrooms are in the way back of the store.
Okay.
Lowe's,
all right.
Lowe's are in the front.
Lowe's are in the front. Home
Depot's in the
back.
way back.
Oh,
so
man.
if like you're desperate,
that's a long
haul, dude.
Yeah.
And you don't want to believe, you want to act cool about it, right?
You want to act cool, but sometimes it's like, sometimes you got to, sometimes there's a fine line of like, I just got to get there and acting cool. And sometimes acting cool,
dude.
Yeah,
I'm
fuck
out.
the cool. I just got to get there. Otherwise, this is going to be a mess.
Oh my God. Yeah. So keep that in mind if you're, traveling.
That is good to know because I did not know that hack. So that's a good one.
Yeah. But home field advantage. 100%.
Home field, nothing replaces home field advantage.
No. I'll go like hell, dude, to get home field advantage. But another country, I think this is the most I've ever been moved by somebody singing.
When you saw Eric Church.
Nope. Jennifer Nettles. Do you know who that is?
Jennifer Nettles.
Sugarland.
Okay, so I know Sugarland.
The lead singer.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that. So
her name's Jennifer.
Once again, stuff I'm familiar with the name, but not like the actual music. So that's country, right?
Country, yeah.
Okay.
So I was working nightclub doing security, and we would always do security for the bands coming in, and huge name bands came in, huge names.
Yeah, I mean they're a big band. I mean, the name I know is like it's.
And they were at the top of their game when this was all going on.
Okay.
So they get to Doug was my partner, my security partner. So we're doing our thing. They're they're building the stage and doing all that. Well, they call her for a sound check. So I go to the bus. She comes out of the bus in a sundress and a bandana, but it's not like it's like Aunt Jemima band. Like she's got it like over her head.
Right. Yeah. Like
I don't know how to describe that. Right.
Right.
But she's got long blonde hair and all that. And I was like, damn. When you see somebody you see him on videos and stuff. That's a good looking woman.
Right.
Then
but in person, it's very striking. It's like, wow.
Yeah. I was like, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, it punches you right in the face.
Yeah. I was like, be professional. Well, be professional.
Be a pro. Be a pro. But goddamn, be a pro.
Goddamn. She gets on the stage, dude, and all she does is the scales. She doesn't sing.
Right. She does her warm up. Yeah. Her scales.
Just the scales, right? And I was just like, my spine was like tingling. I was like, oh my God, this is holy shit, right? So she's like super polite, very nice lady, treated everybody great. She's like, we good? Yep, okay. Gets back in the bus.
Right.
And then the club, the way it was set up, the karaoke room was enclosed except for a door.
Right.
And So what we do is we put the band members in there so they have privacy.
Right,
And
so
then we
they've
put
got
a
their-
we
yeah.
put a guy at the door, right?
Right.
So the way it was set up too, I would go home for a couple hours, get some rest or whatever. I come back and Zach, the guy, security guy was standing there. I said, "Hey, I'll relieve you." And she was in there by herself. Now the music was piped in from the club, but it wasn't loud.
Right.
Like, it was kind of like
it's just-
elevator.
yeah,
You're
right.
right. She sat there eating and singing to whatever was coming up on the speakers. Dude, I have no idea how to explain what it did to me.
Right.
It was just, she is unbelievable.
Yeah, just in all of that talent. Yeah, natural talent, man. It's a great, the
And
instrument.
you've probably seen all that, up close.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of amazing things, and everybody preps in their own way, and people, everybody's got their own thing they do, and you
it's
just
amazing,
you catch
dude.
things that are just like wow, like just blows you away, and you're just like, man, that's just raw talent, like it's just awesome.
And you're like, okay, I know where I am in the food chain now.
Yeah,
You know?
Well, you know why they are where they are, and and that's fine. But it's good. It's a talent, man. It's a God-given talent. That's just like
But then what they got to navigate in that business.
Well, that business,
that's ugly,
dude. And that's
that's,
the music business. Yeah, I mean the whole music business sucks. There's nothing, I mean it's it is what it is. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's hard on the artists, and it's pretty grueling. And when it's good, it's good. There used to be a lot of money to be made there. Now it's
nothing
not anymore.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
It's changed. The whole landscape's changed, and these bands have to work their asses off to make anything at this point. Unless you're at the tippy top of the food chain, like like your Taylor Swifts, where they're just so. Like she could just, she's running the show.
Yeah.
But there aren't that many artists on
no.
the level of that. I mean, you could maybe count them on both hands. Like that's how many artists are that could command.
And look
that
how many
level.
want to be at that level.
Right.
So your percentage of success, and I'm not trying to discourage anybody either. Go for it.
No, I mean play music, make music, but to get to that peak is not.
Yeah, it's gotta
You
be
have
tough.
a better chance of being struck by lightning.
Twice.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah,
Right?
basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that's kind of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is.
So one thing I got to ask you, I watched the Star Wars thing. What am I talking about?
The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I watched the first season.
Okay, this is going to become a different podcast.
Yep. I haven't got to the second season.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'm gonna.
Oh, don't even. Are
Dude.
you kidding me?
I liked it. Now this is I wanted to ask you about.
But it's
it.
okay. But listen, it's fine. If it wasn't for you, it's not for you. But
Yeah, but I guess I thought maybe it would be a little more. Serious keeps coming up. It seemed a little. I don't know the word for it. I had the word for it, and I was, when I watch it, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
But I
Well,
just
it's
thought it would be more
definitely-
like depth, more deep, more weight to it.
Okay,
like
so
it
it's-
seemed pretty shallow, I guess.
Well, it's definitely based on more of like the Western, which I'm sure you get that.
oh
Like,
shit!
yeah,
I didn't
mean,
even think of that. That makes a lot of sense.
It's 1,000% based on like the old Westerns and
Oh,
like
man, okay.
Man with No
No.
Name, the Rifleman, like all those classic Westerns.
That
It's
makes a
based
lot of-
on all
okay.
that stuff. The spaghetti Westerns like Django and.
Yeah.
That's where the heavy influence of that show comes from. The lone,
Yeah,
Ranger, like that kind of stuff. That's all influenced in there, and that's the real, I guess, theme of the show. And so even like season 2 the first episode of season 2 was.
Not too long ago.
It was
right?
last week. So as we're recording,
okay.
So we're recording this now. That episode
first
was
part of November.
right, and that episode was last week. Episode 2 drops tomorrow of season 2. Episode 1 of season 2 freaking blew me away. It was like everything. It was like almost an hour long episode. It was
Oh,
amazing.
no shit,
Yeah,
huh?
it was amazing.
Because where it left
It was
off was
full on action packed. I feel like the production value. I don't know what the rest of the season, but this first episode, the production value was upped.
Okay.
They definitely. It was more. I would say it was more like cinema quality for me, but still much more on that Western thing. Like really, really.
Yeah, the Western thing, that makes sense to me now. I mean, that touches it. Now, halfway through the first episode, the very first episode,
Right.
I looked at my wife and I go, "It's a woman." The Mandalorian. I go, "It's a woman." She goes, "No, it's not."
You were convinced it was a woman?
Yeah.
Mando?
Yeah, I swear it was a.
Right.
I swear it was one. Way he walks, acted,
Well,
all that. I go, "That's a woman." And
There
she's
are
like,
3 different people who are in the suit, but that's just behind the scenes stuff. That's not the
see, this is what I want to hear, dude. That's what I want to hear.
The character is, I mean, it's only one character, but I mean, for the filming purposes, they use 3 different stunt people for the. So actually, Pedro Pascal, who is the Mandalorian, is actually that first season. He's barely even in the suit. It's really the stunt guys that are in the suit. And when they do the helmet reveal at the end, that's obviously him. But he does the voiceover work. So he's not. I forgot
physically,
what the percentage is.
a lot
He's
of
physically not there.
Okay,
Like
all
even
right.
on set.
Yeah, because a lot of times when the character was walking somewhere, 'cause, I mean, basically walks just
Yeah.
That whole stealing what you just said, the Western
it
thing.
is.
They
It's
just
the
kind of
Western,
walk. The way the hips moved and the legs and just the way they're walking, I go, "Man, God, I think that's a woman, dude." She's like, no, it's not a woman. But, I guess, too, if I see the first episode of the second season and the cinema quality,
I think
production value is there.
I think you'll like it, and you have to just go into it with like, this is a Western.
Good point.
It's a
Good point.
It's every classic Western trope.
But
ever.
just sci-fi Western.
Sci-fi Western in space. And actually, this episode, I'm going to give it away by saying this, but I'm not going to give away like I'm going to say this was like Jaws in space. This first episode.
Beautiful.
So
I'll watch it. Now the guy that, because he's a bounty hunter, so the guy that gives him the pucks.
Carl Weathers.
I swear.
It's Carl Weathers. Apollo Creed.
Yeah, Apollo Creed. That's what I thought. I thought he died.
No.
Okay, that's what threw me off. I swear he died.
No.
Okay.
No, Carl Weathers.
Because when I first saw him, I'm like, "That's the dude from Rocky."
Yeah, it's Carl Weathers,
That's
man.
awesome.
It's Carl Weathers and Predator.
Oh yeah, Predator. Classic.
Action Jackson.
Yeah, classic Predator though, huh? Oh man, that
Predator.
movie holds up, dude.
Dude, Predator's the best.
That movie holds up.
We run lines from Predator like all the time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So speaking of lines, did you see my post? You can't trust anybody that doesn't quote Christmas Vacation at least 10 times over the next 8 weeks.
I didn't see that, but that's truth.
100%.
Dude, that's
if you don't like
total
that,
truth.
If you don't like that movie, man, I don't know. If
I don't know.
trust you.
I don't know if I could trust you. I don't know if we should even be friends
Yeah,
anymore.
we
Actually,
can't hang
you
out
actually
right
throw
now.
everything right into like purgatory for all I know. Like,
What's your favorite line out of that movie?
oh my god, I think it's got to be Shitter's full.
Right.
You know?
I like.
I love it. Morning, Shitter's full. I
Oh.
mean, it's just great. The whole thing.
Dude, the one I always quote was, "Where are you gonna put something that big? Bend over, I'll show you."
Bend over, I'll show you.
I wasn't talking to you. I was like, "Oh my god, that's so great!" And then the other one when he's like telling Eddie that it's cousin Eddie, right? Yeah,
Cousin Eddie. Yeah,
You know
yeah.
that he's all crazy.
Yeah, he's like
up in
Toronto.
Vermont.
Him and his wife. They're in Canada.
Vermont.
Oh, Vermont. I thought they crossed the state because they were getting the IRS was after them and all kinds of stuff like
Vermont granted him sanctuary, but they can never leave Vermont.
that. Oh my god. Yeah,
So he's all like super long
really
hair.
like lost his. I don't know.
He
what
lost his
happened to him,
shit,
man.
dude. Oh, dude, look at that part. Just alone that part.
I know.
That's got to dry. That's got to do
I know. I
something
mean,
to you.
your cousin Eddie.
Can you imagine the social pressure? Anywhere you go, you're supposed to be that. You're
You gotta
supposed to
be
be
Cousin
that
Eddie.
character. Yeah.
And
yeah.
he's a great actor too.
I like him a lot.
Awesome actor.
Yeah. Yep.
But you know,
That's
he
it.
lost his shit.
Well, the other thing too is no matter what part he plays, he's Cousin Eddie.
He's Cousin Eddie forever now.
Forever. He could
Yeah.
play he could be the other detective in True Detectives.
Yeah, True Detective.
And they'd be like, "It's Cousin Eddie."
It's
I
Cousin.
can't take that guy serious.
See it.
Yeah. But I like.
Oh,
he's
you
like,
see him in the sweater.
dude, with that fake turtleneck. And I like how he tells Clark, Clark's like, "I'll get the kids something. No, it'll be our pleasure." And he's like, whips out this list, and he's like, "Why don't you get yourself real nice?"
Get yourself something real nice.
Fucking guy, dude.
Oh, it's great.
And then the other one where the daughter's like, Dad says I'm the best French kisser there is, or whatever. I can't remember what one that was. It was one of the vacations, but I had such a crush on the mom. What's her name?
Oh, Beverly D'Angelo.
Oh my god, dude.
And she was great when she turned up in Entourage too for a bunch of episodes. Entourage was a great. You should watch Entourage. You would love it. Great show.
Is that where they roll around in a big Cadillac?
Yeah, and like they're all because they're all from like Staten Island and stuff like that. But they make it big. Like so, Vinny Chase he makes it big. Him and his brother Kevin Dillon's in it, and he's great. And I
should check it out because
it's funny.
Some other people told me. I'd like it.
Jeremy Piven's like makes that show. He's on fire the whole time. But Beverly D'Angelo is in. She's not in every episode, but she's in it, and she's great. She plays like an agent, and she's great. So every time you see her, you're like, it's Beverly D'Angelo. But yeah, I mean those vacation movies.
Oh, whoo, shoo.
Shit, Fox.
Back then too,
Yeah.
We watched another movie the other. Oh, speaking of horror, what's that?
Films.
What's that show that you just did?
American Horror Story.
We just watched not a romance. What do you call it? A funny romance. What do they call those?
Like
My wife likes to watch them.
like a dramedy.
No.
Are you talking about a horror comedy?
No, she was in a straight up. God, what do they call them? A romance and a comedy. So anyway,
Rom-com.
Thank you, rom-com. She was in a rom-com we just watched. And I couldn't. She did a phenomenal job, and it was a really good movie.
Beverly D'Angelo?
No, the lady from American Horror Story, the young lady.
There's a bunch of them.
She was in it, but I can't unsee her from that.
Okay.
She did an awesome job in this rom-com, but every time I looked at her, I just thought of American Horror Story. So people get stuck in that. You see them.
You're just like you're this. You're in this world, and that's how I know you.
Yep. And Peter, the guy from the little guy from.
Oh, Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What movie is phenomenal?
The Station Agent.
Oh my God, dude.
The Station Agent.
Dude, I'm telling everybody that's listening right now, you need to just drop whatever you're doing and watch that. And it's phenomenal.
Some of that was shot right down the street here.
Yep.
Rockaway and Newfoundland, which is up Green Pond Road. You'll see the
station and all that.
Yeah, where they shot that. But yeah,
my God,
and a lot of the stuff here isn't like the train shop and all that's like gone and all like that's not here anymore in Rockaway. But a lot of those exterior scenes, like even over by where my old office used to be, where the train tracks are, like some of those shots were there. And I love that movie.
Oh my God, I was just flipping through, and the only reason I watched it was because of him.
Yeah,
right.
And he's phenomenal.
Oh, at the end, I was like, that was a good fucking movie.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Station Agent is 100% should be on everybody's like must-watch list.
And then what's the 3 billboards outside something county?
Yeah, amazing.
He was great in that too.
Yep, he was. I saw that in the I saw that in the theater when that came out. That was an unbelievable movie.
He just wanted to get in that lady's pants, man. Jeez, God, give a guy a break, dude.
Give a guy a break.
Oh, now you miss going to the theater?
I do. I really do.
Theater,
I really do. I mean,
theater.
my wife and I, we love going to the movies. We're going at least once a month. We had the whole like AMC membership thing. And
did you have that like what, Stars?
Yeah, we had that, and like you try to hit Tuesday nights, and like you get like the $5 movie and all that. Yeah. And because it's like easier now that our kids are like so much older, and so, I mean, we love going to the movies. It's great. And,
I love the movies.
And I haven't been to the last movie I saw in the theater.
God damn,
I think the last one we both saw in the theater together was the Harley Quinn movie. I think that was the last movie we went to go see in the theater. That was like that's a sequel to Suicide Squad. It was like Harley Quinn's like her Harley Quinn and the Amazing Birds of Prey, the Amazing Emancipation of the one Harley Quinn. Yeah, so Birds of Prey was the last I think in theater movie we saw. Before that, we had seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was a phenomenal film.
Love it.
Loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What an amazing movie that was.
We watched it at home. I had no idea the direction that went.
Right.
Because Quentin Tarantino, you're like, all right, dude, this is going to
and he does a lot of, and you always know, like, whenever he takes a historical thing, he's going to do a revisionist history version of it,
Right,
which,
right.
you know, in the way that and it's always the way you wish it would have ended, which is exactly with this, like,
Yeah.
without spoiling it, but it's the way that you wish.
Well, if you ain't seen it now, by now, but
well,
you should
see it. If you haven't seen it,
so well done.
I really well done, and I think if you like Quentin Tarantino, then you'll like this. If
Wait
you
a
hate
minute,
Quentin
so-
Tarantino, you won't like it.
So what? You're saying that he does historical stuff? Quentin Tarantino?
Well, he does things and like changes the outcomes of things, like Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, well, yeah. Well.
You know, he changes that. But
Well.
even Django Unchained, like.
No, I was going to go with Dust to Dawn, dude. I was going
Dust to Dawn's not actually his movie, though. That's Robert Rodriguez's movie.
Oh, I didn't know that. He just plays in it.
Right. Well, he's in it because him and Robert Rodriguez are tight. So he's in it. And I think he co-wrote it with Robert Rodriguez. I think he wrote it with him.
What a great movie.
Yeah. And I think Clooney was producer and all that. But
yeah.
I love From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh.
That's a fun movie. That is a fun.
That's
I mean, Harvey Keitel's in it. I mean, you have an all-star cast in that.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
then,
George Clooney's in it.
yeah. Well, the
And like Quentin Tarantino's such a terrible actor, but like,
but it fits. It goes with it.
It fits.
Because
Yeah, it
the
fits well.
character that they had him play in that,
Yeah, it fits.
terribly acting, goes with that.
It absolutely.
Yep,
It was perfect for him being a bad actor. It worked, and thank God you've got like guys like George Clooney and Harvey Keitel who are
support
so
it.
good that like
You kind of oversee that.
Yeah.
Speaking of fucking bad actors, I tried to watch it. We tried to watch it. Keanu Reeves. To me, the dude can't act. Fucking save his life.
My wife and I have jokes all the time about Keanu Reeves. We're like, Keanu Reeves is a guy who, if you watch all his movies, now I'm not saying John Wick because I actually love
John Wick.
love John.
Oh.
But if
it
you
fits
watch
it. But
right,
but the thing is,
because he doesn't have to talk.
Oh,
No
shit.
dialogue.
I didn't even think
right?
of that.
So when you watch Keanu Reeves movies, what is the one constant thing in all Keanu Reeves movies? He's surrounded by awesome actors.
Well, not in this movie I saw.
Well, Bill and Ted we thought was hilarious. If you're talking about the Bill and Ted
No,
movie, we
it's
loved
called-
Bill and Ted.
it's supposed to be this horror kind of thriller called Knock Knock.
Oh, I never saw that.
Don't.
Oh, okay.
Don't.
Well, he did. See, they broke the formula. You have if you're gonna if
He
you're
was
gonna,
the main actor.
right. See,
Now-
that's the thing. You can still make a main actor, but you have to surround him with really good actors. Like
Okay.
like The Matrix. You had Lawrence Fishburne. you had,
and John Wick.
John Wick's great, but he doesn't have to talk in John Wick. He just has to he does a lot of action. And he's good. He's very good at action. I like his action films. He takes that stuff seriously.
100%.
He always hires the top talent when it comes to the fight choreographers and
Well, then I heard that,
he's no joke with that stuff. He takes it seriously. He's a fan of that stuff, so he always wants to make. So I appreciate that. But the guy is terrible at dialogue, and you can't. And this is no cut on him as a person, by the way. So I don't want people to be like, "Oh, you're slag. Why are you slagging on Keanu?"
No.
I actually think Keanu is as a person, the guy seems great. He does a lot of charitable stuff. He's
rides a subway.
he seems like a. Yeah, I just saw that video where he gave up his seat for the woman who was pregnant and had to stand.
Yeah.
The guy seems like a total class act. So this is
this movie is.
This is no cut on the guy as a person, but just as far as acting goes,
Oh, dude.
But the one guys that
go ahead.
Keanu Reeves movies work good when he's surrounded by an all-star cast,
So what
or he doesn't have to talk.
Well, so it's great that you say dialogue because I tell my wife, I go, "This is Keanu Reeves."
I'm an FBI agent.
He's like, he'll say, "I love you," and I'm gonna kill you the same way. I'll kill you, and he's like, "I love you. I'm going to work." It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? Seriously? And she's like, and the woman's like, "Oh, see you, baby," and he's like, "Yeah, I'll see you later." I'm like, "Oh my god." You're not a heartthrob, bro. You're not a heartthrob.
No, you gotta go watch, and we love it. I mean, you got the original Point Break is such a great film, but watching him go through that film.
What'd you think of the second one?
The remake? It was a remake.
Yeah, I didn't like
It was forget it. I mean, come on. I mean, Patrick
first
Swayze
one.
is awesome in that movie.
The first one was phenomenal, and again, Bodie.
I mean, Gary Busey, Utah. Yeah. Give me two. Give me two.
Love that dude. But look at he was surrounded by great people.
Surrounded by great actors. That's the common denominator. If you're gonna put Keanu Reeves in there, great. He'll give you good action. He's a face. People, the marketability, it'll be good. But you got to put good actors. You have to put really good actors around him.
Okay, so that
you have to insulate him. You got to help him out. You got to give him the assist. He needs.
Yeah. Always Be My Maybe.
Never saw that.
So he's got a little scene in it.
I don't even know what that movie is.
It's actually a really good movie.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's kind of a rom-com, but it's a really good movie.
Always Be My Maybe.
Yep.
Okay.
And there's a scene with him in it in a restaurant because she dates him for this scene, in the restaurant. I don't mind him in that because I think he actually plays Keanu Reeves.
Plays Keanu Reeves.
So I'm like, that works because he's playing Keanu Reeves.
He's being himself, yeah.
Right? And I'm a huge Kevin Costner fan. Love Kevin Costner. And I got a buddy who goes, well, of course he's good in that movie because he's playing Kevin Costner. If he plays Kevin Costner, he's good. But if he plays anything else, I'm not so good. I'm like, I don't know if I go with that. Are you a fan of him?
I'm not a huge Kevin Costner fan, but I love No Way Out.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're going way back.
Yeah,
right?
but I love that. That movie's fantastic.
You didn't like Waterworld?
No.
I kind of liked it in a way.
Really?
Well, I like post-apocalyptic shit. So,
well, I mean, he does do. I mean, what was it? The Postman.
I love that's one of my favorite movies.
That movie's
dude.
actually pretty cool. I was not like a.
That chick's hot in it too.
What was the one that he did with the? Was he We Will Build It and They Will Come or whatever? Was that
Field of Dreams?
Is that hit? Was that his?
I wasn't a fan.
I don't know. Like,
now, For Love of the Game wasn't bad. That was a good movie.
Okay,
that's kind of a.
I don't think
slower,
I saw that one.
But that was got Kelly Preston in it.
Well, Kelly
that's
Preston,
not.
And that's going back.
Yeah. Another one movie that holds up pretty good. I saw not too long ago. The original Alien.
Oh my God, dude! The original Alien is a perfect film. It's a perfect film, and it's a horror movie.
That was what, 75, I think, right?
76? 76, maybe 77. Actually, it might be 77, 76, 77. That's a straight horror movie.
100%. And then they kind of ruined it as they went along,
but
right?
Aliens is spot on.
What's that? That's a next one?
That was the next one. That's what James Cameron directed it, which it's a different kind of a movie, even though it's a sequel.
Is that the one with Bill Paxton in it?
Yes.
I love Bill Paxton.
Dude, that's the best, one of the best action films, but it's not the horror movie that Alien was. Like
Alien is dude, that had me going.
Dude, that scene, I mean, when Tom Skerritt is in the when he's in the air duct, and like he's right behind you, and he's like, what? And then all of a sudden he turns, and it's like, it just like cuts, and you're like,
God, dude,
like
that was.
There's a lot of jump scares in that film that are like amazing. Great. It's a fantastic horror movie.
Yep, and
very cool.
And then they got
it holds up. It really holds up.
That's what I'm saying. It holds up.
Anything after Aliens is garbage to me. Like I don't even like the David Fincher movie's not great. The Alien 3, like that terrible film.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of those.
They and then when they tried to redo, and well, not redo, but they did these prequels, and Ridley Scott got back involved. But like Prometheus, my wife and I have a huge joke about me and Prometheus. Like I'm like, I was so excited to see Prometheus. I thought it was gonna be so cool. Like we were so excited, and the movie sucks so bad. But like I'm one of these guys that sometimes I'm like, if I rewatch it, maybe the movie will be good again. Maybe.
Yeah, I've done that before.
And there's this longest running joke about like you can't Prometheus this, Chris. You can't. It's it's still a shitty movie. It's not gonna get any better. But so I finally resigned But then they tried to do the next one, which I was like, oh, well, okay, and that was not very good. So I'm like, I'm just done. I'd rather them just stop. Like,
well, that's the thing with movies. When it gets to us, just shut them down, dude. Don't run them into the ground.
They're running it into the ground. You're trying to find stuff. It doesn't work. Actually, the one thing that I thought was really good that I saw that I was really up, and I was like, why would you not do this? So Neil Blomkamp, he's a really good director. He did District 9.
Oh, I'm a big fan of District 9.
Chappie he did. And he's got this like really awesome, like stylized sci-fi. Like he's a very good director. And he had released... It was on his Instagram account. He just did it because he was like, oh.
Just might as well do it.
And it actually caught fire. Like, he had concept art for his, like, sequel
to
after Alien. So Aliens.
Right.
And his, what would have been the third film of what actually happened to those characters at the end of Aliens. And he had this cool concept art and all this stuff. And everybody was like, and he released it, and it went freaking. Everybody went bananas. Like, oh my god!
How long ago did they do that?
This was like, oh man, maybe 5-6 years ago.
And then they shut it right, just shut it down.
And people
on
went bananas, and then the rumors started going that like, 20th Century Fox wants him to do his Aliens movie, like
right.
and everybody was like pumped.
I'd watch that.
But then Ridley Scott was like, no, I'm doing my version, and that shit got shut down. And then Ridley Scott did his prequels and all that, and it got shut down. But man, the concept, and it's probably still out there. I mean, you could find it, like Neil.
Of course.
It's awesome concept art.
Huh.
It's very cool, and it would have been a continuation of the Aliens, that storyline,
right? Instead of the way that they went.
Instead of the way it went.
Now, what are your thoughts on the Alien versus Predator stuff?
You know what? It sucks, but it's fun. I mean, it's just campy. It's, they were trying to. Those comics were great. The Dark Horse comics, where that was originated from, were really good. And then they tried to capitalize on it. And I think the video game was there at that time too. It just,
I like the storyline behind it, where so rite of passage to come and kill them all and do all that.
And that's from the books and all that, and that's cool. But I just was like, it never lived up to the expectation.
Yeah,
you know.
I think it was the last one where. The billionaire they went to Antarctica.
They went to Antarctica. Yeah.
Now, wasn't he the original? Robot, right?
Lance Hendrickson. Yeah,
Lance
he was Bishop from Aliens.
The second one. Aliens.
Right, Aliens. Yeah, the second one.
Who was Bishop in the first one?
Bishop. That was Ash, or not Ash. Ash was the guy who actually. That was John Hurt's character.
Wasn't the guy that plays it was in Star Trek, right?
No, it was oh my god. No, it wasn't. It wasn't
because I thought it was somebody that I know, like I've seen him and I'm like, isn't that the dude from Alien?
When in doubt,
the original.
Go to IMDb. Here we
love
go.
IMDb.
The IMDb. I'm gonna look this up right now, because now it's gonna kill me all night if we don't get this, because we should just have this. All right. So the guy who played the original android was it was Ian Holm. Duh.
What's his?
Ian Holm. So he was and he actually just passed away this year. So Ian Holm, he was Bilbo Baggins.
Yep, Bilbo Baggins.
I mean, he's done so many amazing other things.
Speaking of passing away, Sean Connery.
Oh my God, huge loss. Jesus, Dr. Jones.
What the fuck, dude?
James Bond.
Yeah.
Highlander.
Oh, Highlander. Oh, Highlander. I mean,
come on.
Dude, the best quote though. Do you know the best quote he's got?
From which franchise?
The Rock.
Oh my God, The Rock.
That's one of my favorite movies, dude.
I forgot about The Rock.
Because of him.
I forgot about The Rock. Yeah. Holy smokes.
Winners whine about their losses. Or losers whine about their losses. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah. I posted that on my Instagram with him giving the thumbs up, and I posted it.
That's awesome. I forgot about The Rock.
Man.
I forgot about that. Is a great movie. The Rock.
I love that dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad. I mean, it's like,
but man, I mean, time, right?
Time, man. It's just time. I mean, he's in his 90s, and then I heard he had dementia near the end, and it's just like, God.
So there's
sucks. Getting old sucks.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the only thing that's undefeated. Time.
You can't beat it.
Yeah.
And you can never get it back.
No, this guy that makes the hat that I'm wearing. Mm-hmm. He's down in Missouri, and I like some of his shirts and stuff. And one of the shirts I have, it says, "Nobody favors the warrior class until the enemy's at the gate." Right? But
that's a good quote.
Yeah. He's got one now that said, "Time is a poison, and we all drink." And I was like, that's a cool fucking way of looking at that.
It is.
I'll have a link to that. I'll have a link to that in the notes.
Yeah. That's a good one. I like that, man. Yeah. That's really cool.
And then I just got another one. I've been saying this forever. Carpe diem. On the back of the shirt, it just says Carpe diem.
Carpe diem is like,
you got to fucking seize it, dude.
Seize it, man. Seize the day. That's it.
But yeah, that's so Sean Connery's favorite Sean Connery movie. We've been on movies all time, so we might as well just stick to my.
It's tough.
Like something that skew though, like The Rock. Everybody's like, "Holy shit, I forgot about that."
I forgot about The Rock.
fucking.
I'm not going to say I'm not going to say League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I wanted that movie to be, and I wanted it so bad. I wanted it to be good, and it was so terrible.
I can totally see why he played that part, though.
I can absolutely see why he played that part.
They came to him and said, "This is your part." He's like, I could do that.
Yeah, and it was not. I was so upset that movie was not, because it's a cool comic book
and great concept.
Yeah,
it just didn't. Concept. It just kind of fell flat.
It just didn't do it right. Man, favorite Sean Connery film. I mean, geez, all the Bond movies. It's like
Hunt for Red October.
Hunt for Red October, great movie.
Awesome movie.
Great movie. A good movie. That movie's.
Who was the guy chasing him? It was a Baldwin, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. Is he the older one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's actually the movie that really broke Alec Baldwin too.
He's kind of the one from 30 Rock,
yeah,
right?
He's on 30 Rock.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But that was like the film that really, really like
set him up.
Set him like
because he was young back then.
Yeah, he was so good. I mean, you know that he played that. He ripped up that performance.
You know where I really liked him was in Leonardo DiCaprio with Aviator. You know,
Aviator's a really cool film that like nobody ever talks about. I really like that.
I enjoyed that movie. Did you like him in where it was out? Oh, you being a movie film guy. What's the one where he's out in the wilderness there? It's set back.
Oh, The Revenant.
Revenant. Jeez Christ.
That was a cool movie.
Did you read how that was shot and how long it took and all that shit?
Yeah, it was like
Isn't
crazy, man.
Yeah, because they didn't use any artificial lighting.
No.
So they would have to sit and wait if they didn't get the shot.
Natural light.
If they didn't get the shot, they got to wait till the next fucking day.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
It was all natural light and just very like super organic, and you know he wanted it to have that feel of like this is almost almost like a documentary. Like
yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that.
It was a cool film.
The book was.
I never read the book.
I quote unquote read them. I listened to them on
it's audio. It's fine.
Right,
still getting it.
I just consume information really well that way instead of reading.
Yeah. Voice. Goes back to
voice,
top. Goes back to the top of what we were talking about.
Circling back around voice, right? When they described his bear attack in the book, fuck, dude. Damn. You're just like
crazy, huh?
Yeah. And how about The Martian? Speaking of books and
yes, The Martian was fantastic.
Fuck. How many times are we gonna save Matt Damon from space?
Oh my god. We saved him from space a lot, man.
There's like what, 3? Because he was in at the end of
well, he's at the
with Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
where everything's inverted and all that.
Yeah, and he goes in the black hole and all that, which was a really cool film.
I enjoyed that.
Interstellar. Great movie. I really liked that. And I love the concept of that too, because it really plays with like this is kind of like theoretically what would really happen with like the time and the play and the age and you know how time is.
And then they brought it around to where the dust in the beginning is actually him trying to communicate back.
Yeah, trying to communicate back.
That was cool.
Just that, you know, just that the whole time space continuum thing is really wild.
And then they fucking at the end they find Matt Damon. I'm like, what the son of a bitch?
This guy, what is it with this guy?
He's probably like, yeah, give me $10 million and you can rescue me from space again.
Yeah. This guy's always in space.
Yep.
Yeah, but The Martian was great. That was a great movie.
The book was.
Never read that book either.
No, listen to it.
Okay.
I'm telling you, dude, don't read it.
Just listen to it.
The guy that narrates it is
awesome narrator.
Oh my God. And he acts. Okay. You know, he just doesn't read it.
Right. He like actually like gets
into it. And just such a good book. That was a phenomenal movie. I just like movies, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, we just got done watching on HBO, which I don't know if you watch it. Was I don't know if you have HBO. Lovecraft Country.
What's that?
Which is a book.
Lovecraft
Country. I can't even describe it. It's amazing. It takes place in
movie or TV show.
It's a show. It's like 8 episodes or maybe 8, 9 episodes.
A mini series.
Yeah, it's on HBO. It's a series and it's based on a book, and it's really really wild. It's a mix of every genre of sci-fi, fantasy, horror, drama, comedy. And it takes place in the 60s it's a mix of, I think they're in Illinois. And it all centers around this whole, it's the 60s. It's all very African-American centric. So tons and tons of like the time and era of like the racism and lots of metaphors for, but like brutal, like showing like racism but it's like but it's not just about that. It's about this whole journey they have to go on. It's a wild show. Like I've never seen anything like this show.
Oh, I like that kind of shit.
It is fascinating and really fun to watch. And just every episode's like so different. Oh. And it's actually really cool because what they do too is they do this like really cool thing where like you start to find a pattern. Like every episode is kind of like this big movie that was like oh my God, this is like Jurassic Park. Oh my God, this is like Psycho.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, this is like Indiana Jones. But what it does is it plays on a trope. So it's like every one of those, but when you think about it, every one of those movies was like a white leading actor. Like it was white people in those roles.
Right.
But what they do is it's like the episode is that, but now imagine if it was, African American black people in those roles. And it really like you go by the end of your episode, I'm like, oh my God, it's like it's cool to like see that. And they play with that. Lovecraft Country, and they play with that on every it's phenomenal.
And what are they, like an hour long or something?
I think they're even less. Actually, they are an hour. Yeah, they are hour long episodes.
HBO.
Yeah, really, really cool. And it was a book, written. And it's like Lovecraft because it's H.P. Lovecraft who was the famous.
That's where
right. And so the main character reads. Like there's a lot of reference to a lot of reading and like Homer's Odyssey. Like there's all these like references to like classic literature and stuff. That's cool.
So it's got a little weight. I call it when I say it's got weight to it. It's actually got some.
Oh my
God.
Weight
to it.
Oh, it's got teeth. It's got teeth.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So speaking of seeing somebody in one role and then seeing that same person in the other, Skull Island.
Oh yeah, Kong.
Right?
I liked that. I liked it. I thought it was fun.
I enjoyed it.
I wasn't sure how it was going to be. Like, I was like, oh man, like I kind of didn't want them because like you could ruin this.
Oh, it could have went south.
And I was like, this is cool because this reminds me of being a kid, like waiting for Monster Week. To come on. Like, you remember Monster Week.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And it's like all the Godzilla movies and all that stuff. And this reminded me of Monster Week watching it. I was like, this is great.
Now, do you know who I'm talking about? It was in that movie and then...
Samuel L. Jackson? No. It's just Samuel L. Jackson's on a lot of stuff. So
I was going to say, damn, dude. Yeah. So I had a guy on not too long ago, calls him Sam because he knows him personally.
Oh, yeah?
He's like, yeah, so Sam Jackson, we did this and this. And I go, who the fuck is Sam... Wait a minute, we got back up, man. Who's Sam Jackson? He's like, sorry, man. You know him as Samuel L. Jackson. I'm like, what the fuck? You know him?
Yeah, like you know him.
You know the TV show Suits?
Yeah.
Jessica?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my wife used to watch Suits. She used to watch the show.
The one partner, Pearson, I think her last name. A dude dated her for a long time. I was like, wow. Right on, bro. And then he's like, I go, so what happened? He goes, she left me for Lawrence Fishburne. And I was like, you can't be mad at that.
He's like, mad at that, man.
Nope. I was like, you just go, okay.
Hey, you know what? It's fair.
Yeah, I was going to say. Like, I can't be mad at that.
No competition there.
Captain America.
That's right, Chris Everett.
No, the Captain.
Chris Everett.
The girl. The lady that played. Isn't it Captain America? I get these all. Not Captain America.
Hold on.
Who's the girl who's the lady?
I'm going to help you out.
And then I got one more movie we're going to go over.
Okay, I hold on. Skull Island cast. Here we go. Brie Larson, Captain Marvel.
Marvel. God, I keep calling her Captain America, or Captain.
Yeah, she's Captain Marvel. Yeah.
What do you think of that?
What, Captain Marvel?
Yeah, did you like it?
Oh, I loved it. I love Captain Marvel. Great, oh my God, that's like one of my.
Speaking of Samuel Jackson,
films, yeah.
Speaking of Samuel L. Jackson, dude, the cat, the Larkin.
The Lurkin.
Lurkin. Oh my God, that was fucking. I about pissed myself.
The Flurkin.
I about pissed myself laughing so hard at that.
Best.
Oh my God, dude. He's like, it's just a cat. And the guy's like, get that thing away from me.
Get away from me. Yeah, it's great. That was great. I love that. That movie was phenomenal.
I enjoyed that.
That was a lot of fun. That's a great movie.
We just picked up the Disney Channel or Disney Plus or whatever. So we're revisiting.
Yeah, they're all on there. So it's great.
I just watched the original because I was just in the mood for just, candy and just watch the original Iron Man.
Movie's great.
Oh my God,
and it's so funny because it's like, man, that seems like 1,000 years ago that movie came out, but it's still like holds up like really well.
Yeah,
Like it's a fun movie.
I enjoyed that
And
because it was new.
Right, it was new. And the funny thing, like that was a huge gamble for them. Like they were like, if that movie flopped, we would have never have gotten any of these other movies.
No.
Like
no, there's no way that could flop, dude.
And it's so good. And remember you watch it and you're like, because remember being like, oh man, Robert Downey Jr. Like, oh, you know, you just think about Robert Downey Jr. and it's like, you know, he's a good actor and all that, but you're like,
there's no one else that can play
and now I'm
Stark.
Like, who else could ever be Tony Stark?
No. Did you ever see the YouTube clip of him with the where he goes in to do the casting for that?
No, I actually never saw it.
So if you just Google it, I mean, it comes right up in YouTube. So he's got, you know, they say, hey, we want you to try out, basically, try out for this. He comes in dressed up in a suit and never breaks character.
Oh, my God.
And he destroys the interview. And he acts just like Tony Stark. And they're all just dying laughing. Eventually, they just all start laughing at him. It's amazing, dude. And it's kind of rough because they're kind of like bootlegging and all that, but you get it, and you're like, "This." No wonder he got the part. He plays such a good part,
and he is such a good actor, man. Like he's such a good actor.
Yep, enjoy him. So one movie I want to get your quick response.
Oh boy, here we go.
Dune,
the original.
No, well, okay. All right, no, the original.
Right, so the one, the David Lynch movie.
Yeah, the original Dune. Look at you got the same fucking rack. Speaking of waiting, that would come on during holidays and shit, and I would get all excited to watch it, and I would just wait for the monsters. And I would like wait through all that fucking dialogue, dude. And I'm like, just shut the fuck up, man. Why are you talking so much?
So that is a movie that you watch over and over again, and you want it to be good. No. And it never gets good.
It never gets good.
It never gets good. I know that's an unpopular opinion with some.
Most people, I think, would agree with us.
And I know somebody who's listening to this probably right now, and they're probably pulling their hair out because I know
they
vehemently disagree with me on this. But I know I'm right. I mean, David Lynch himself hates this movie. He didn't even want his name on it. He wanted it to be an Alan Smithy film, and that's what directors use when they don't want their name attached to a movie.
I didn't know that.
They use the pseudonym Alan Smithy. And
so if I ever see Alan Smithy as a director, somebody didn't want to be on.
That's correct. They didn't want their name on.
Do you know of any film that says that?
I can. Yes, this is a thing.
I didn't know that, man. That's really cool.
Alan Smithy films. But yeah, it is a pseudonym for directors that don't want to be known as. Oh, and actually. Yep, Alan Smithy's official pseudonym used by film directors who wish to disown a project, coined in 1968 and used until it was formally discontinued until 2000.
So it was discontinued in 2000.
Yep. So here's films by Alan Smithy. So I'll read you off a list here of
That is fucking cool to know that.
So here are films.
Some big ones.
Yeah. So actually, it does have Dune on here. So he did. It says direct, and actually
it's alphabetical order.
Yeah. Here's a picture. Here's Alan Smithy. I'm showing him a screenshot of the beginning of Dune. But here are some films.
I love the concept of Dune
that were done by Alan Smithy.
Any real big ones that we'd know?
Let's see. Fade In, Death of a Gunfighter, Gypsy Angel, City in Fear, Student Bodies, Twilight Zone, the movie.
Get the fuck out of here. The original?
Mm-hmm. This represents a rare instance where Alan Smithy credit was taken by an assistant director. So not the full director, but assistant director. Dune, directed by David, releases varying crediting Alan Smithy.
Twilight. Wait till I tell my wife that. She's going to...
Stitches, Let's Get Harry, Morgan Stewart's Coming Home, Ghost Fever, I Love New York, Catch Fire, The Shrimp on the Barbie, Solar Crisis, Blood-Sucking Pharaohs in Pittsburgh.
That's going to be the name of the episode.
The Birds 2, Land's End. That was in 1994.
No shit.
Yeah. This has to, the name of it, Blood-Sucking Pharaohs in Pittsburgh. National Lampoon Senior Trip.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that was
Hellraiser
a thing.
Bloodline.
Now, which one was that? That was toward the end, right?
Yeah.
Bloodline?
Yeah, 1996.
Did you like those? I didn't think they were bad.
The first two I really liked.
Yeah.
I thought they were really good. I'm trying to find some other... I mean, usually they're just bad movies, and that's why we've never heard of them. So it says Dune. Only the version as extended and edited for broadcast television is, it says, directed by David Lynch. In addition to Smithy directing for credit. For the broadcast TV version, Lynch's screenwriting credit goes to Judas Booth, a reference to Judas Iscariot and John Wilkes Booth.
So nobody wanted their name on it.
Yeah.
So who directs the new one?
So that's Denis Villeneuve, who did, and I love his sequel to Blade Runner.
So
he
did.
I
enjoyed that.
He did the version of Blade Runner, which was the sequel. I loved it. So I'm actually very excited.
Me too.
Because I think he's a really cool director. He's a good visionary. I think putting Dune in his hands is a really great idea. Now, I've never read Dune myself, once again, and I've got a friend of mine who's like, he's obsessed with Dune, and I've actually got a family member who's read all the Frank Herbert novels, and so I know a lot. There's a lot of people in my life who are very much into Dune and love the novels and all that stuff. So now I know some people are already like, oh my God, I hate the way the costumes look in the trailer and all that, but
I thought the trailer was pretty cool.
I thought the trailer was pretty cool. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready to watch this new version of Dune. I'm very optimistic about it considering who's the director. So
now, see, that's the type of movie that I would want to watch in a theater.
absolutely.
I need that on a 60-foot screen.
I would love to see that on a theater. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't care how good a system you have at home. It's not like watching in a movie theater.
No way, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, doing a movie theater, it's like, and I love movie theaters. I really do. I mean, that's what you pay for at the end of the day is that experience. And there's nothing better to me. Like, I don't know if you're like this, but I love this. The more empty the theater, the better it is.
100%.
Like, 100%. Nothing would make me happier to be the only person in that theater watching that movie.
When was the last time you did a double feature in the movie theater?
Last time I did a double feature, it had to be one of the Star Wars runs, like when they were doing like Star Wars, like,
And then
yeah,
you watch one in the morning, one in the afternoon.
Had to be something like that.
I saw Four Brothers in the Morning. Remember that?
Yeah.
With Mark Wahlberg.
Yep.
Love such a good movie.
Yeah.
And then Last Samurai in the afternoon.
Oh, that's cool.
That was a fun.
Yeah, I mean, drive-ins are always they do double features all the time at the Warwick Drive-In, but it's not the same because the thing is, it's like 10:00 at night and you got to drive home. It's like 1 a.m. It's like
but like sitting in your car watching. That's cool. It's a drive-in,
cool,
you know.
But no, in the theater.
I like a theater, dude.
I mean, that's the popcorn smell. It's
the
whole thing.
Yeah, the whole walking in and
that sound. That's why I love like
the previews.
The previews are the best. You gotta see trailers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Even if they suck, you gotta see them.
Yeah. And all the zombie or the movie and Nuvi.
Yeah.
Was it Nuvi? Yeah, Nuvi.
Yeah. The whole like animated thing. Yeah.
Nah, movies
I love that stuff,
dude. Movies. There's a reason that industry is so damn big. You know, it's escapism.
It's entertaining, man. I mean, you know, we all need it. You all need it.
Yep.
I mean, I would love to have escapism right now with everything going on.
Yeah.
You know, it would be nice. I mean, but it is. It's great. It's nothing beats going into a theater for 2 hours and being like, I'm shutting my phone off, all that stuff. And I'm just going to be absorbed by this image in front of me and like just lose myself in the story for 2 hours or 90 minutes or whatever it is. Like, that is just nothing beats that. For me, nothing really beats that.
Yeah, same here. And that's why I like the adventure movies and like the Fast and Furious movies in there. They're fun. Yeah, they're fun. On the way in, you take your brain and you put it in the locker.
Yeah.
Oh, they blow things up and you see some boobs or something. And
who cares?
That's amazing. You come, you put your brain back in and you go back to life, dude.
Yeah,
I love it, dude. I love it.
Things like it's like eating candy. Like, that's what it's like. It's like eating candy. Like,
candy for
I
your
know
brain.
Candy's not good for me, but like, I'm going to eat it because it tastes good. Like,
you're saying watching Vin Diesel drive hot rods is not good for your brain?
Well, it depends. For me, it's good for my brain. I enjoy it.
I enjoy those movies.
I enjoy it. I enjoy that.
Yeah,
like,
I like those movies.
I love that stuff. But like, you know, but I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm paying. I know what I'm getting.
Well,
like,
see that, yeah.
This isn't like the Three Billboards movie. Like,
well, that's true. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? And then you watch it and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, great movie, very well acted, great story, super deep, has a lot of teeth.
Yeah,
Fast and Furious. It's just you know,
fast cars, lots of explosions, lots of bad one-liners,
sometimes boobs, and
then
and I'm good to go.
I'm good. Okay, we done? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
all right,
cool.
What's next? All right, now you gotta go back to work. All right,
cool.
Yeah,
Back to it.
Yeah. Dude, this was a fucking ton of fun. I had no idea what direction we were going to go in. We just sat down, started hammering shit out.
Yeah, we literally were started talking. Like, I think you just like hit record. Like, we just started going and we're like, oh, let me just hit record.
Yeah, we started talking. I'm like, fuck, dude, hold on. Click, click, click. And then a little technical difficulty in the beginning, but that's all good.
It's all good. It's all good.
I appreciate it, man. And,
I appreciate you.
Best of luck in your adventures, and
Thank you.
We'll keep on keeping on.
Absolutely, man. We're gonna keep on keeping on. That's it. We got to rock it.
All right, buddy. Rock it. I'm gonna have in the show notes all your stuff. I'll get all that stuff from you.
Right on.
Anything I can do to help you out, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Chris is always a great time to talk about, well, anything. You want to get a hold of him and see the great things he has going on with his agency. The notes, links and stuff are in the show notes. Check that out. And I'm going to wrap this up because I know you all got shit to do. Remember, liveresheet.com. Great CBD product. Use a code word table, get 50% off. Merch store at waltzkitchentable.com. Proceeds go to Forever Healing Invisible Wounds. And until next time, much love.